What was that back there? I think it was just another one of your reoccurring nightmares. It's kind of spooky, right? I mean, it makes sense that you'd feel a little bit of worry. After all, how do you escape from a nightmare? It's in your head. This becomes an especially important question to answer when we realize that nightmares can have massive effects on your daily life. When nightmares do have these drastic effects in your daily life, it can be categorized as nightmare disorder. Nightmare disorder is usually diagnosed not only by frequency of nightmares, but also by what extent it has to your daily functioning. So, you might be thinking, oh no, what if I do have nightmare disorder? What do I do? Don't worry too much. There are a few ways that researchers have found that have been shown to be effective in treating nightmare disorder. These include things like image rehearsal therapy and sometimes lucid dream therapy. Image rehearsal therapy is by far the most accepted, and it's quite simple. So with image rehearsal therapy, all you have to do is think about one of your reoccurring nightmares and simply change a small aspect of it. This helps you feel like you have some amount of control over your nightmares, and therefore can decrease both frequency and the amount of distress that you might feel. Lucid dreaming therapy seems to work in a similar way. After all, it gives you the similar sense of control over what's happening in your nightmares. So what even is lucid dreaming? I mean, to put it simply, lucid dreaming is when you're dreaming and you know you are. You have that awareness that you're dreaming. Sometimes, this awareness comes along with the ability to control your actions, or even your surroundings. It's pretty cool, right? You could simply just think about wanting to fly. You could fly away. That'd be pretty fun.
But like, Teach, when I'm dreaming, I don't even realize that I'm dreaming, right? So like, how could I know to try to fly if I don't even know I'm dreaming?
That's a really good question. One way that we know of to bring about awareness in dreaming is by performing what we call reality checks. These reality checks work because dreams themselves often don't function the way reality does. For example, one very common reality check that we can do is by paying attention to text that we might see in dreams. For example, say we've got some words up here. Say I take a glance at them, maybe notice what they are. A lot of the times, when you look back, there's something completely different. There's no sense of consistency. Now that you know what lucid dreaming is, you can imagine how it would be helpful for nightmares.
Why don't we talk? Hey, so...
You want to talk to me?
Yeah. Well, what's the deal? What's the deal with dreaming, huh?
Who knows? As you saw back there, ideally, with lucid dreaming you could change your nightmare any way you wanted to. Seems pretty simple, right? However, in practice, would this actually help? Most research says maybe. In past research, there has been a lot of positives that we've seen with lucid dreaming. For example, lucid dreaming therapy has been shown to decrease daytime distress and the frequency of nightmares, and it's been shown to help with how the participants understand their dreaming. However, a lot of the time, lucid dream induction didn't even occur during the research. Even in these cases, it still seemed to be helpful. After all, as we saw with image rehearsal therapy, sometimes even the idea that we could have control over our dreams is helpful. However, there's been some research that shows otherwise. Sometimes, even with the learning about lucid dreaming, there's been no change. So, we're not really sure what to think. Due to these mixed results, some researchers have questioned how viable lucid dreaming therapy is for treating nightmares. One important phenomenon to note that occurs is what we call lucid nightmares. Lucid nightmares occur when you're in a nightmare and you become lucid. However, this lucidity doesn't come with any of the control that we want it to come with. And instead you feel paralyzed, you feel that sense of panic. Because you're lucid, everything is so much more vivid, and a lot of the times they're far worse than just basic nightmares. So, that's a problem. Furthermore, some researchers have even questioned lucid dreaming in general. After all, when you normally dream, it's been shown that a lot of the time your prefrontal cortex isn't as activated. And with lucid dreaming, you have a lot more activation due to the amount of control that you're exerting. A lot of researchers think that during normal dreaming, Our brain doesn't use as much prefrontal cortex for a specific reason. Whether it is for memory consolidation or regenerative functions, we don't entirely know. So as we can see, there are many potential benefits and potential dangers to lucid dreaming therapy. However, it's still a very important treatment that we should consider. And with more research, we can find better ways to implement it. What's most important to note is that if you're suffering from nightmares of any kind, whether it be under nightmare disorder or related to other mental health issues, know that there are ways to help treat it. And lastly, if you're interested in lucid dreaming in general, go at it, have fun. Just make sure, stay safe, and put your sleep health first.